At first, her bond with the dog seemed ordinary, but as they grew closer, strange things began happening. One day, her husband noticed the dog following her into the bathroom, and that's when his curiosity turned into suspicion. David Knock had agreed to get a dog when his wife, Katie, asked. With long workdays keeping him at the office, he thought a pet might ease her loneliness. Newly married and not ready for kids, they figured a dog would help fill the quiet in their Atlanta home. Katie named the Australian Shepherd Bailey, and their connection was instant. The dog was clever, loyal, and always by her side. David was glad she had company, but he began to feel uneasy when he realized she was never without Bailey, not even in the bathroom. David, a hard-working accounting consultant, loved coming home to Katie. She cooked dinner every night, and they spent quality time together. Still, he had no idea what her days looked like while he was away. After months of dedication, David earned a promotion. The new role allowed him to work fewer hours and come home earlier. Excited to surprise Katie, he arrived home unannounced one afternoon. He quietly stepped inside, careful not to alert Bailey, but the house seemed empty. Her keys and the leash were by the door, so she hadn't left. Then he heard the shower running. Approaching the bathroom, he heard Katie's voice through the water, but couldn't make out the words. When he called out, she responded weakly after a loud crash. She emerged with Bailey, visibly shaken. When he told her about the promotion, her reaction was subdued. The odd moment lingered with David, especially the voice he'd heard earlier. Later, he asked Katie about it. She claimed she'd only been talking to Bailey, saying the dog kept her safe. David was concerned she didn't feel secure at home, but he didn't understand why she was hiding in the bathroom with the dog. Even after he started coming home earlier, she continued taking Bailey into the bathroom and talking while showering. She seemed distracted, forgetful, and often sat with Bailey lying protectively across her lap. David grew worried and confused. Something was going on. When he saw her like that too many times, he decided to upgrade their security. David installed a doorbell camera that notified him whenever the front door opened. The next day, while at work, he got an alert. Katie was leaving with Bailey. Hours passed before she returned. At first, he assumed she was running errands, but when it became routine, his unease grew. He kept remembering the muffled conversations in the bathroom. Was Katie using Bailey as an excuse to talk to someone else? Was she meeting someone while he was away? His thoughts raced. Eventually, he confronted her. When she stepped out of the bathroom that evening, he asked directly, "Who were you talking to in there?" "Just Bailey," she said quickly, growing defensive when he pressed further. "And where are you going during the day?" he added. Instead of answers, he got silence, then anger. "You're monitoring me now?" she snapped. David was stunned. He'd only been trying to understand, yet now he was being accused. Hurt, he stormed out of the bedroom. He had done everything to make her happy, agreed to get a dog, added security. But still, she shut him out. That night, he slept on the couch. The next day, still restless, David stopped by a security store after work and bought a small hidden surveillance camera. He decided to place it in the bathroom. He needed to know what was really happening. That night, once Katie was asleep, he installed the camera. The next evening, as she and Bailey entered the bathroom, David opened the surveillance app on his phone, nervous but determined. At first, everything looked normal. Katie set her phone on the counter and got into the shower. Bailey lay nearby, then approached the shower when Katie called, "Towel, Bailey." The dog brought her a towel, obedient and calm. Then David saw Bailey grab something from the counter, an orange pill bottle. Katie's voice came through, weak. "Good boy, Bailey. Can you get my water?" She took a pill while the dog lay across her legs protectively. David recognized the tension in her body, the signs of anxiety. It hit him then. He had been wrong. There was no secret lover, no betrayal, just his wife silently struggling. David's heart sank. He'd doubted her, spied on her, yet all along she'd been quietly battling something real. His jealousy was replaced by deep concern and guilt. When Katie stepped out of the bathroom, David was waiting on the bed, head in his hands. She paused in the doorway, their eyes meeting. He rushed to her side and helped her sit. She knew. She could see it in his face. They sat in silence for a moment before Katie finally spoke. "I have a chronic illness," she said softly. "Bailey is my service dog. He keeps me safe, especially when you're not here." David listened, shaken. "It's called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome," she explained. "My heart rate spikes when I stand up too quickly or stay on my feet for too long. I can faint without warning. Bailey can sense the changes before I even feel them." Katie admitted that her long outings were often doctor's appointments or training sessions with Bailey. She hadn't told David because she didn't want to burden him. He already worked so hard. Hearing everything, David's guilt deepened. He had suspected her of cheating, but she had been fighting to stay strong alone. And Bailey wasn't a rival. He was a lifeline. "I should have told you sooner," Katie said, her voice trembling. "I should have asked differently," David replied, taking her hand. From that day on, everything changed. David reduced his work hours and attended her medical appointments. He studied her condition, learned the signs, and supported her in every way he could. And as he grew to understand Bailey's role, his resentment faded. The dog had never been a threat to their relationship. He was part of their team. David and Bailey even formed a bond of their own. Whenever David came home, Bailey greeted him warmly, often getting an extra treat for being such a good boy. David was grateful for the dog who had protected the woman he loved during the moments he couldn't. And now, with both of them by her side, Katie never had to face her illness alone again. In the end, what began as suspicion and confusion became a journey of understanding, trust, and deeper love. David learned that true partnership means being present not only in moments of joy, but also in silence, struggle, and vulnerability. Katie's secret wasn't one of betrayal, but of quiet strength, carried alone until she no longer had to. Bailey, once seen as a wedge between them, became a symbol of resilience and loyalty. Through him, David discovered not only the depth of his wife's challenges, but the strength of her will to protect him from worry. Their marriage, once tested by doubt, grew stronger through compassion and shared resolve. With love, patience, and the help of an extraordinary dog, they faced the future hand in hand, united not just by vows, but by a new understanding of what it truly means to care for one another.